Let me start by saying a couple of things. Number one, many years ago, I gave my lovely wife, Caroline, a vacuum cleaner, I think, for birthday or Christmas or something. She threatened me with a lot of remorse if I ever gave her an appliance again. But I took a chance some years ago and gave her an embroidery machine. Which, by the way, fellas, if your wife doesn't have one, it's a good investment. But I mention that only because she created the napkins here tonight. So, they are not party favors. They have Emily and Robert's initials and all that. So, but it's a special gift to Robert and Emily from Caroline. So we're going to get things kicked off with toast with Robert's older brother, Tate. Tate?
All right, first of all, there's a few people to thank. Obviously, the rest, tomorrow night, what I know. Tomorrow night, what I know is going to be an incredible evening for Robert and Emily. Tonight, for my parents, Rob and Caroline McNeely, this has been amazing, and we thank you for putting all this together. I've got a couple of stories. That I want to share. The first of which I was not there for. And had to reach out to someone in Florence, Alabama, Dr. A.E. Joyner, to help me remember exactly how this story went down. So I'm going to read Dr. Joyner's email to me from when I believe Robert was in kindergarten. River Hill School, Florence, Alabama. So when Robert was in kindergarten at River Hill School, he fell and cut his chin. He required stitches on his chin, which I was glad to suture in Dr. Joyner's office. Thought it'd be fun, a little show and tell for the class to remove his stitches in front of everyone. Little did Dr. Joyner know the McNeelys, all of us, are extremely faint of heart when it comes to any type of medical procedure, needles, anything. So Dr. Joyner came to River Hill to remove the stitches in front of the entire class. Robert comes up to the front of the class. Dr. Joyner removes one stitch, makes one small cut of the stitch, and Robert faints in his lap. There was a young girl named Walker Ham in the class who started screaming, "Dr. Joyner, you killed him! You killed him! You killed him!" At this time, Robert's completely out cold and proceeds to pee his pants all over Dr. Joyner. And I think Dr. Joyner got up, rushed Robert out of the room, hopefully to save a little bit of face. While the entire class, I think, joined in and saying, "You killed him! You killed him! You killed him!" Dr. Joyner wanted me to say, "Emily, I hope you have a better night on your honeymoon than Robert did." And I've got one more story, quick story that I'm going to tell. I was probably in 3rd or 4th grade. Robert was probably in 1st or 2nd grade. And I think that's about the time you learn your multiplication tables and your flashcards. And I was supposed to be learning everything, and Robert was sitting next to me on the couch. I was getting quizzed by my mom. Robert was answering everything that came up before I could, which was humiliating and terrible, and I was aggravated and mad, and it was awful. He beat me to it. I'm happy to say you beat me to it again in marrying Emily. Our whole family couldn't be happier for you two. We've gotten to see Robert and I live together for a couple years in the formative years of Robert and Emily's relationship, and I think it's clear to us and to everyone in this room that you two were meant for each other. So congratulations. Cheers to Robert and Emily.
Okay, next is Amanda, Emily's sister.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to read off my phone because I actually had to write everything down, otherwise I'd forget. So, hello everyone. I am Amanda. I'm Emily's maid of honor and older sister. Thank you all for being here. Big shout out to Mr. and Mrs. McNeely for a beautiful, beautiful night and to let us kick things off this weekend. Okay, Emily and Robert, where do I begin? I promise I won't embarrass you. But I feel like it would be a missed opportunity in bearing the lead if I didn't start out by saying thank you to the both of you from the bottom of my heart for taking me out of the hot seat for almost an entire calendar year. Being able to deflect any marriage or clock ticking questions and allowing me to use you both as a conversation pivot has really been the greatest gift, so thank you. But now that this weekend is finally here, I'm not 100% set on what my new strategy is going to be, so I'm going to have to come up with that in the next 24 to 48 hours here. But in all seriousness, as your older sister, your wiser sister, I know how hard it can be to do things for the very first time. Every time I think back to moments growing up, the growing up years, we had to do something for the very first time, like new school, sleepaway camp, joining sports teams. Something I noticed was that Emily, unlike me, who would always have mixed emotions about trying something new for the very first time. For example, if I was trying to dance, I wasn't sure if I really liked it, I would maybe dip in and out. But Emily always knew what she wanted. She was wise even in her younger years. And when she wanted to do something and to make a decision, she never looked back. At an early age, Emily took a liking to the finer things in life, and she knew that she always loved grape-scented lotion that was sparkly, and chapstick that had Lance Bass's face on it from Lips NSYNC from Limited 2. She also hated going to movies in the middle of the day because she had major FOMO about what was happening with her friends and family while she was contained in a movie theater. It's very true. Emily just likes to be on the go. She's somebody who, when she wanted to be in Nashville, she made it happen. She just knew it was her time. She met Robert at Lauren's wedding, and she just knew he was the one. And after I know my family had a chance to meet him in Sea Island for the very first time, and he got broken in on the first Rast family vacation in Sea Island in 2017. It was then that, we had no doubt that Robert was going to fit into our family perfectly. Also, the very first weekend that I met Robert, these two fancy younger children made me sous vide chicken and your fancy cooker and salad from Barefoot Contessa. I was very impressed. And just the way that these two interacted in the kitchen was so sweet. I mean, I could just tell that you two were really the real deal. Robert and Emily, you both are just so lucky to have found each other. Robert, I'm certain there's nothing I can tell you about Emily that you probably don't already know. But Emily is certainly one of the kindest and most compassionate people I know. Her signature move is the handwritten note. So I'm sure many of her friends have received these before, but it's really her favorite thing. Emily loves and highly values her friendships and relationships. She pours a lot of energy into making sure she communicates how she feels. So, for example, when Emily was little and she did something wrong, or needed to tell my mom and dad how much she loved them, she would write a note that usually would take up an entire front and back page, expressing just her love for them. And she would slip it under the door like a little mail slot. And it would appear the next day when my parents would wake up folded on the carpet. And it was this novel confessing her love for them. And she would go in for a hug, and she would peer at me over their shoulder with just this little devilish, little typical younger sister smile and like little wink, and I knew what was going on. And in fact, I actually would sometimes receive these letters myself. And she would like to, she actually, hold on. I have one here, and I actually just lost something. I don't know what that was. But, so
I don't know.
To preface this letter, so she wasn't a child when she wrote this. She was maybe like 14 or 15. And I was about 17 or 18 and about to go on my senior spring break to Mexico. Okay. So it goes, Amanda, have fun in Mexico. I will miss you so much. I hope you have a blast, but still, be careful. I take back what I said about you getting your stomach pumped. So, pause there for a second. I don't know what you thought I was going to do in Mexico, but I'm pretty sure you got that from an OC episode. Sure. So I'm so sorry. I just want you to be careful. I love you so much. Get tan, have fun. Just make smart and right decisions. I love you. I will miss you. P.S. Have fun. Now, first of all, I'm just really impressed. You had all these emotions for me at 14 and 15. You really, really cared. So I think that just this goes to show the genuine concern you have for me, for your friends. I would never doubt that you just really care about everyone in your life. I know how much people matter to you. I also know how much you value what they say to you as well. So sometimes when you and Mom would run an errand, I would take a quick spin through your room, just to confirm no clothes had been taken. But of course the first stop was the bulletin board that you had in your bedroom growing up, where you had so many letters from just people who love you and care about you. And even then, as a little girl, I was proud. I was proud of you just because everyone thinks so highly of you. And it made me smile until I found a blouse, maybe a Millie blouse that was crumpled up in the corner with a wine stain on it. Just to confirm. But I was still proud of you. And even with the exchange of a single glance, I feel like I know what she's thinking, which is wrap this up. So Robert, if I could give you a heads up, just when Emily is trying to tell you something, that she loves you, that she's sorry, she might leave you notes. So they might be in a text message format now that it's 2019. But I know that, she's probably trying to just tell you, have a good day, I love you, I miss you, and just know that she means this from the bottom of her heart. Emily and Robert, I love you guys. I hope tomorrow is a memory that will just bring you so much happiness for years and years to come. Cheers to the bride and groom.
Thanks, Amanda. So I'm going to call on our son-in-law, first outside member of the family, John Thompson.
Yeah. 3,275 days ago.
Good count.
Yes, I became an outlaw, an outcast, an outsider in the Gilly family. You have no idea how happy I am. 276 days since I married this beautiful woman right here. But there's some things I need to warn you about. We were talking about the 23andMe test last night. And if you've ever seen Caddyshack, there's a great scene, Rodney Dangerfield pulling up to the club. His friend Wayne gets out, taking all these pictures. Wayne, it's a parking lot! Your children might be related to Wayne. And they always love to take pictures. All the time. No, they are the most loving, the most fun, kindest, generous people. And you're going to love being married to them. I got the most beautiful one first. So I got the best looking one. But you get the tallest one. The best golfer. The best golf partner. Where's Wade? Right, Wade? Where's Wade? Lucky dog. We were at the Omaha College World Series the other night, and Robert went with me and my two boys. We're Vanderbilt, national champions. But in the middle of game 2, Robert has never sought advice from me ever. And he said, "John, do you have any marriage advice for me?" I said, "Hell, I was about to ask you the same thing." Robert, you're going to be a great husband, a great father. You found a beautiful woman in Emily, and the way you love our children is awesome. When Emily's family comes to town, she brought them over to see our children. It was really touching, and I'm so happy for you guys, and can't wait to welcome you to our family.
Thank you, John. Okay, Caroline?
Can you hear me? Okay, so unlike a lot of other guys out there, we first learned that Robert had a girlfriend from Robert himself. I'll never forget the excitement in his face when he first told us about Emily. He was anxious for us to meet her, and so we had dinner together a couple of weeks later when she had first moved to Nashville. In the words of Jerry Maguire, "You had me at hello." The vision of cute, bubbly, and friendly Emily walking into Laughlin's table will be forever etched in my mind, as will the proud and happy look on Robert's face. It was a fun night, and it was so obvious to us that this girl was really something special. So, Robert and Emily's relationship continued to blossom, and we fast forward to a day at the lake last summer. Pre-engagement. They were not engaged yet. Robert, and Emily and I were having a great time floating on this ginormous raft that we have at the lake. I'm always on edge when I'm there a little bit, and I'm on the lookout for these sticks that move in the water. And suddenly, Emily, pointing at several yards away, probably 100 yards, but anyway, says, "Is that a snake?" I'm like, oh my gosh. Panic hit. We saw the snake's head bob under the water. We saw the tail go flying around, and a mad scramble ensued. It didn't involve Robert because he was way more calm with the snake than we were. But anyway, Emily and I frantically splish-splashed our way back to the dock. Emily reached the ladder to get out of the water before I did, but when she got there, she stopped. She turned around. The snake's way far away, but we think it's really close. She stopped, she waited, and she's like, "You go first, you go first." And I'm like, gosh, I knew I loved her before, but this is what super cinched the deal. She put my safety, but well, anyway, it wasn't that bad, but we were both panicking, and it was terrible. I don't like snakes. Anyway, sorry about the 2 minutes. So, Emily, I think you will agree with me that you're getting one of the very best. Robert is kind and considerate, and he's caring. Robert puts others first. He is the one who will never take the last cookie or the last piece of cake off the tray because he thinks someone else wants it. He's a peacemaker and a pleaser. He even chose to marry a Margaret. Emily Margaret. Margaret is my mom's name, it's my first name, it's Robert's sister's name, and it's her daughter's name. So, it's just perfect. Plus, a lot of people say my Margaret and Robert's Margaret look a lot alike. Robert is compassionate and he's sentimental. Family is very important to him. But on top of all that, Robert is a great companion and a lot of fun. Y'all are a perfect match. Cheers to many, many years of happiness.
Okay, so next up is our Margaret. Margaret and Neely Thompson.
Okay. First of all, thank you to Mom and Dad for tonight. It's beautiful. And thank you to the rest for tomorrow night. It's going to be beautiful and we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm not sure who told Emily he loved her first, Robert or my 5-year-old son, Jack. I have a vivid memory of a family dinner early in Robert and Emily's relationship. When sitting at the dinner table, Jack turned to Emily, gazed into her eyes, and said, "I love you." It's safe to say we were all pretty smitten with Emily from the beginning. Emily, you're kind, thoughtful, a fabulous gift giver, and as beautiful on the inside as out. All 4 of our kids adore you, and it means the world to me. Sorry, I got notes too. That you love them and treat them with so much love and kind-heartedness. If there is a McNeely family gathering and Emily's missing, you're guaranteed to find her either playing with the kids or cleaning up the kitchen. Robert, you got a good one. And now for you. You're as kind, you too are kind and thoughtful. You're as smart as they come. A mathlete and a walking encyclopedia. I'll always remember sitting in Christmas Eve church when you were about 6 years old. And when the preacher asked all the kids, "Does everyone know what tomorrow is?" They all said, "It's Jesus' birthday, it's Christmas." And you turned to me and said, "Actually, scientists have proven Jesus was born in April." Robert, you are helpful and encouraging, and even more importantly, you can beat John, my very competitive husband, in golf. You're a rock star uncle, and one day you will make an awesome dad. It's pretty obvious why Emily said yes. I love you both and can't wait for tomorrow when Miss Emily becomes Aunt Emily.
Okay, I think we've got a lineup of groomsmen. So Houston Oldham. There he is.
I have to finish go after that? I mean, going after that is like asking entirely too much because I have a very short thing to put on here. And it focuses on one trait of Robert that I have found over the past 15 years. Is that how long it's been since MBA or so? I went to high school with Robert, I guess middle school and high school with Robert. We were close starting maybe sophomore and junior year of high school, and honestly some of my friends introduced us and we ended up hanging out a lot. And I have 2 things that make Robert very special to me. I have one that I'll start with, and then they both kind of build on this idea that people who start with positive habits at a young age end up showing them later in life and making sure that those habits are something that defines them. And I will say it is because Robert is reliable in all things that Emily, you were very lucky to have him. And I'll tell you how I know that Robert's reliable. So my mom, when I was junior, senior in high school, we'd have Robert over a good bit, and every single time this man came to my house, this kid came to my house, he'd show up, walk, he was carrying something, he'd walk up to the house, and we had this big bay window, I mean like big, just in front of the kitchen. He'd put something down, and he'd walk up and say, give my mom a hug, say, hey, Mrs. Oldham, it's great to see you, and my mom and Dad, Robert, the case of beer you just brought in, like I know you drink a Coors Light case every time you come to my house, like just pick it up, come inside, it's fine, like reliable. I mean, my mom knows that Robert's the most reliable beer bringer in the entire friend group. Anyway, that's number one. Number two, I told you it's gonna be short. Number two, Robert and I probably bonded most in golf, and I guess you could say that taking beer out of the cooler at Belmead was like reliable, but like that's just bad. What it was that whenever we played best ball, I mean, I'm terrible at golf, and Robert's the most reliable good golf player that I know, as we've heard. So, Robert, you started good habits early, whether it's helping me play golf, bringing me beer, and or, saying hello to my mother every time you come over. And Emily, you got someone good here, and Robert, I think you might be marrying up, but like, thank God. That's all. Congratulations, guys. Best of luck.
Okay, Mark, you're up next.
Hi. Guys, I'm Garner, Robert, not Fletch. So I'll tell y'all, I grew up in Nashville, and my parents always taught me just be friends with people that you can think are lifelong friends. And Robert and I didn't meet until I was a senior in high school. I didn't go to school with him. We went on senior spring break with Robert. And that was the turning point. At which the only person I saw fall asleep at CMA Fest is Robert. But I'm pretty sure so Robert and I lived on the same street, and we didn't figure it out until that senior spring break. That's when the McNeelys moved after Robert and I went to college, because we got too many cab rides back to Darden. And I'm pretty sure they were threatening your parents, because I got dropped off at y'all's house and walked up the hill. But I'll tell you this, when I knew Robert and I's friendship was really one that I wanted to embrace, is my wife now comes home and she says, hey, I'm going over to Emily's house tonight to see if I can borrow some earrings, because we got our wedding to go to next week. And so watching our wives, or future wives, become friends, and watching those friendships from high school through college and all that become lifelong friendships has been something that I cherish so much. And I can't tell y'all how excited I am for you, and how much Helen and I look forward to us being a lifelong friendship.
Okay, MacArthur, you're up.
Alright, my name is MacArthur Gill, and some of you may know me as the guy who broke my glass earlier. Some of you may know me as Robert and Emily's future dog sitter. And some of you may know me as the person partially responsible for Robert almost losing one of his feet. And that's a story I'm going to tell you. That's the story I'm going to tell you tonight. So, it was sophomore year of college, and our whole fraternity was heading down to my catfish farm in Alabama. And I found out a couple hours before everyone was set to leave that we didn't have any running water. Our pipes had burst, and it was well before that. Okay, Robert, we'll take comments later. And so that was a secret that I was holding near and dear to my heart. But along the way, I had a couple friends ask me, should I pick up anything on my way down? I told them all no, but when Robert called and said, hey, should I grab anything from the store? I said, yeah, 40 gallons of water. And Robert knew that something was up, but one of the qualities I really admire about him is that he's a really good friend, he's very loyal, and he knew not to tell anyone that we didn't have any running water. And so we get down to the farm, Robert's kept that secret so everybody cooks, and we're having a good time, and later that night, you know, like the good friend that Robert is, he goes to pick up some supplies from the house. Now, we were hanging out in the field. There's a dirt road that takes you to the house. He took a couple buddies with him, some of which are probably in this room. And on their way back, one of them realized that a cop was behind them coming down the dirt road. Now, all of his friends were SWAT riding on the side of the car, SWAT riding. And Robert, of course, not knowing the rules of SWAT riding in Alabama on dirt roads, decided to whip the car behind one of our sheds, and everyone scattered. And as they were sprinting away from the cop, Robert ran through some scrap metal of ours and put a nice big hole right in the middle of his foot. And so, you know, we went to Vanderbilt, so we had a lot of pre-med students. You know, the cops came, they left, they didn't care what we were doing, they just wanted to make sure we were trespassing. But all the pre-med students got together and decided that they should pour some taco vodka on Robert's foot. Now, I have this vivid memory of looking over at Robert, you know, towel between his teeth. And it's one of the qualities about Robert that I really admire, and that's his toughness. He is a very tough guy. And as our friends poured taco vodka into the hole into his foot, he said and held his own and was strong about it. Now, the next day came, and it was, Robert came to me, and smart guy that he is, said, you know what, I don't think that taco really worked. We should go to the hospital. So I drove Robert to the Camden Hospital, which is a very small town in Alabama. You know, I don't want to speak poorly of Alabama, but the medical care there is not ideal. So they gave him some souped up Tylenol, and they sent him on his way. So Robert toughed it out and had a good time with the rest of us hanging out. And once he got back to Nashville, you know, another quality about Robert that's really great is that he's willing to put his ego aside, and he's willing to ask for help when he needs it. And so he called his mother and said, I need some help, and I probably need to go to the hospital. So he ended up spending the night in the Nashville hospital. They were embarrassed that the doctors had given him Tylenol, and he and his mother ended up saving his own foot. And so, you know, it's that loyalty, that good friendship, that willing to help others when they need it that we all love and appreciate about Robert. And over the last 6 months, I've also gotten to know Emily pretty well. And I won't, you know, regale you with a full story, but I will tell you the quality that I love the most about Emily, that I think everyone in this room understands and knows, and that's that she has an energy that is infectious. When she walks into a room, everybody has more fun. And that's who Emily is, and that's what happens every time she comes in the room with you. And so it's the way your two personalities intertwine that gives me such confidence that y'all are gonna have a great and wonderful marriage filled with lots of wonderful baby dogs.
I'm sorry if we're going out of order, but I was anxious, I want to get it out of the way. I really want to do you justice, and sorry, I'm anxious. Okay, I'm sorry. The first time Emily and I met, we were at a famous duo swap, where all the older girls got to bully us and decide what we get to wear, and then we had to find our matching partner with the fraternity guys. And I was chosen to be Malibu Barbie. And Emily was an Easter egg, and she had to find the Easter bunny. And Emily had we became best friends ever since I went up to her and I said, hey, will you write Artie down my leg? Because I have to have it in like black Sharpie. And Emily, without a hesitant of a doubt, yeah, no problem. Like, we're best friends. That seals it. And I just think from then on, I just viewed you as an Easter egg because you kind of, cheesy, stop it. Valerie, stop it. Because you represent an Easter egg to me because you're colorful, you're full of life, and you're selfless. And that's how I've always viewed you from then on out. And just, you've always been a little Easter egg to me. But the crazy dog lady I am, I had to, I couldn't leave here without attributing, I just feel like you're a pug and you're a King Cavalier.
Yeah, Cavalier King Charles, yep.
And so I did a little research and I looked up their traits, and y'all are exactly that, because Emily, a pug, has a dry sense of humor apparently, according to American Kennel Club. And you have a dry sense of humor. Pugs are stubborn. You're stubborn, but I love you. So they're a calm dog who enjoys naps. You love your good nap. And they're silly with a strong burst of energy. That's very you. They're food motivated. They're vocal. They're intelligent and playful and extremely affectionate, and that's exactly what you are. And Robert, you are a King Charles Spaniel. And according to the American Kennel Club, they are sweet-tempered, which you are. They're playful, which you are. Gentle, which you are. Comfort-loving. And then they're very dependent on companionship. They need companionship and get stressed when they don't have it. And you need Emily, and Emily needs you, and I've never seen somebody who's made her more happy in my entire life. You are the best person I could ever want for one of my very best friends in the entire world. Emily, you are like the most amazing person. I love you so much. I love both of y'all so much, and I can't wait to continue to have amazing memories together.
Okay, Jeff. Where's Jeff?
Thank you. First off, thanks to the McNeelys and the rest for having us this entire weekend. This is a true testament to all of them. I'm from St. Louis originally, so I've been the Rats for a while. I've been the McNeelys for almost 10 years now, which has been amazing. I have a little bit of a unique perspective on this wedding, given that I lived with Robert for several years. I'm Emily's ex-boyfriend in 4th grade. I think that we can all agree that that ended for the best, given that we're all here tonight. And overall, I have a ton of stories I could tell about Robert and like all the times that we had together, which were amazing, and all the times the McNeelys had me over and really treated me like family every time I was there. We started living together junior year. It was him and I. We fortunately added Spencer Consalvo and Jared Hall, who were present in the back. They gave a little wave. And I think a lot of people that are from Japan would agree that it's a miracle that house didn't explode. But overall, like, I'm so grateful to be here and so grateful to be a part of the wedding. You're two amazing people, and Robert, you're always been an amazing friend, always been very loyal that people have hit on. And Emily, like, you're amazing. Like, you bring out the best in Robert and all the best qualities that he has. And when we were at homecoming, that was apparent. When we're here, that's apparent. And thanks again for having me. I'll keep this short, but it's been amazing, and I'm so grateful to be here. And thanks again. Cheers.
Okay, so I feel like I'm the opposite because I grew up with Robert, and Emily and I became best friends in college. So thank you so much, first off, for having us. It's beautiful and lovely. But when I think of Emily, one thing I think of is persistent. And Emily is a persistent person. Emily is persistent in her friendship. She's persistent in the way that she loves others. She's persistent in the way that she's loyal. She's persistent in the way that she's a friend. and I was front seat in the way that she was persistent towards Robert, even when he didn't even know that she was persistent towards him. So I think about I guess it was 5 years ago, and Emily came to visit me in Nashville, and we were done with the bars. We'd had enough to drink. We were done. We had our hot dog stand. It was like we're sleeping on the side of the street if we don't go home. And so I am like, all right, I can't wait to go home and go to my bed. And Emily turned to me and was like, I changed my mind. Robert McNeely is at the bar. And I'm like, okay, I've known Robert. Okay. And she's like, Robert McNeely is here. We have to talk to him. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna stand outside and hold our taxi until you get back, because I'm so tired. And Emily goes and she talks to Robert, and the next day, it's like nothing ever happened. And I looked at Emily and I said, Emily, you are going to marry Robert McNeely. And she was like, okay, whatever. And then I have to give Emily her persistence, because Emily was persistent. Emily was persistent in her feelings. She was persistent in her friendships. She was persistent in her love, in her caring for others. And I think we all are witnesses today in her persistence to Robert. Because 5 years ago today, we were at a bar, and Emily said, you're not allowed to get a hot dog, you have to come with me inside and say hello to Robert McNeely, even if I just say 3 words to him. And Robert and Emily, I'm so happy for you, because I know that she's going to be a persistent wife. She's going to persistently love you. She's going to be your persistent friend. She's going to be a persistent caretaker. And she's going to be a persistent partner the rest of your life. And you're really lucky to have someone who is so persistent in a positive way. She's a beautiful person.
So, I'm not on the schedule, and I apologize for that. But I have a few things to say about Robert. And as I was thinking about what I wanted to say about Robert to all of you, I thought about all the times that we've had at beaches, in mountains, in basements, in attics, in houses, all across the southeast basements. But I feared retribution, and so I will only speak of the amazing friend that Robert is. Robert, I was so honored when you asked me to be part of your wedding, truly. I'm honored to stand here today. I'm honored to say thank you to the McNeelys and the Rasts for this weekend. You're an amazing friend. I'll keep it short, but thank you, and thank all of you, and you're the best. And I wish both of you the best. Emily, when I met you for the first time, I realized very quickly, first of all, why Robert liked you. And second of all, why you liked Robert. It's obvious. It's obvious to all of us. And I couldn't be happier to be here today. So thank you so much.
So first I'd love to say thank you, McNeely. And I'd love to say I fit in perfectly. So if you're wondering how different Emily and I are, we lived in 130 square feet and we continued to live up to each other afterwards. We chose to. We were the Dungeon Divas. But I apologize if I get real nervous. Being friends with Emily is a blessing to anyone who knows her, because that means having someone to laugh with, give you
tons of compliments, support you when you need it, someone to call who will always answer, and also deciding if you have 2 hours to talk to her if she calls you. Emily and I knew and met each other around September 27th, 2009, which is also Ole Miss's Fit Day, but we officially became friends on February 12th, 2010. A week before the state, someone told me that a girl in our pledge class was looking for a ride to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. Of course she's going. And so I offered this random girl, because we sit alphabetical order and chapter down I think we're 4 seats away from each other, if she wanted to ride. And so she said yes, and that morning there was an ice storm, which caused a lot of people to back out on us, but we still decided to go. And I've never seen a suitcase bigger than the one that she gave me today. Still, it did not fit in the trunk of my car. She had to sit with it next to her in the back seat. That's pretty good. That weekend is a lot of things that defined my future, because I also met my husband that weekend, but I also met my best friend. So you can say it was a pretty good day. The weekend after that, Emily invited me to her dorm room in Cosby. I think I heard it was 5:37.
74.
74?
Yeah. 754.
754. She invited me to drink some Smirnoff Ices with her. And she also said, we can add vodka to it, so I was sold. We know us who were going to be friends. And Mr. Ross, I apologize to you because I know that those were definitely caught on your BP gas card. Along with Emily's year-long checks with dates. Supply, but I had nothing to do with the Chex Mix, I promise. I'd also like to apologize to Robert, because he had no idea what he was getting into when he met Emily. Of course, I remember his name. Our friends can be a lot to handle, and I think I can speak for all of us when I say thank you for accepting all of us and sticking around. Being our friend means lots of FaceTiming, phone calls on speaker, and the art of not being able to hold back. Luckily, Robert fit in with us immediately with his dry sense of humor, but also his quick wit responses to us. Alex and I have loved getting to know you, and we love being there from the beginning too. We've protected her from the start, and you know that we'll protect you too. And I promise, whenever you get Emily's beer, way more divine than Michelob Ultra, we're gonna go back to Asheville. We're doing a redo on that trip. But Emily is one of those that loves love, and she loves with her whole heart. She loves her family, she loves her friends. She loves all types of dogs. She loves lotion, as Amanda said herself. And most of all, she loves pajama pants. With Emily, you get a lifetime of love, nonstop support, dependability, laughs, someone to always up for an adventure, and of course, not being able to get rid of her friends. They say with marriage, you get to annoy one person for the rest of your life. I know you all both will take advantage of this. So it's with love and happiness. And here's to you.
Love you. Alright, hi guys. My name's Lee. I've been friends with the beautiful bride since we were first grade. But I'll go ahead and say just what everyone's thinking. I've known this girl for 22 years. She's been one of my best friends. And I know we don't look a day over 18, and one day that will definitely play in our favor. But for now, we will get carded every time we go to an R-rated movie, and that's fine.
It's cool.
We're cool with it. I'm gonna cut this short. I'm gonna cut this in half. I'm not going to get into it now about how Emily would shower 4 times on average during our one-night sleepovers, or the time that she asked my mom if we needed to join the witness protection program, or the alarming amount of time we spent fueling her Sims addiction. But I can't lie, if I still had the music video of Emily dancing around my house, lip-singing Missy Elliott's Lose Control, I would pass out a copy to every single person tonight. It's gone forever, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. I can't find it. But my friendship with Emily began when we were in elementary school and grew to the point where she basically lived at my house by 5th and 6th grade. And then we were devastated when we had to go to different high schools.
managed to become even better friends through our middle school and high school days, between our middle school summers spent together at Camp Tomsock, to supporting each other during high school sporting events. We became inseparable. There was even a year we both appeared as extras in our high school musicals. Emily was in Oliver, and I was in the music band. Sorry, our nerd showings. It was both of us, so it's fine. We then went on to be roommates freshman year at Ole Miss, where we successfully made friends by leaving our door open most of the time and just yelling hi at anybody that walked by. And it worked. Fast forward to today, and I can honestly say I've never seen Emily as happy as I do when she's with Robert. And I've got to know Robert over these last few years, and it doesn't take a brain surgeon to understand why Robert makes Emily so happy. Y'all truly bring out the best in each other, and I'm speaking from much experience when I say there's never a dull moment around y'all. That being said, I'm very much looking forward to third wheeling for all of the fun the future holds. Let's raise our glasses. Again, cheers to the happy couple. Love you.
Okay. Now it's my turn. So settle in. Only get to do this 3 times. So welcome, family and friends. Caroline and I would first of all like to say thank you. Thank you for joining us on this eve of a very special day, celebrating the union of Robert and Emily. Caroline and I would like to thank Terry and John for having an angel as a gift for our son. And tonight, as I look at him, so happy, sitting there with the gorgeous woman of his life, I didn't realize that time would pass so quickly from a boy to a man. This marriage marks a new beginning, a new journey for Emily and Robert. When Robert first spoke about meeting Emily, there was a new spark in his eyes. It was easy to see why after we met Emily for the first time. We cannot say thank you enough for coming into Robert's life and for giving him, so much joy, love, and happiness. I've been proud of the man I saw him growing into, and especially proud of the man I see tonight. I distinctly remember when Robert and I had dinner together one night not too long ago, and I knew that he had something important on his mind. He eventually told me that he had met the woman that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with. Over the past couple of years, Caroline and I have had the pleasure of getting to know Emily, and we welcome you into our family. Emily, we've never seen Robert so happy as he is by your side. I've always been a firm believer that God has a plan for all of us. It is what led me to find Caroline, which has led us to having our son Robert. And I believe that God also led Emily and Robert. Sorry about that. And Robert, Emily and Robert to each other. Some call it fate, but I call it God's plan. Marriage is a fun adventure that's full of surprises, twists and turns. As someone who's been happily married a long time, I'm still on this exciting journey. Robert, my wish for you is that you and Emily have the same good fortune and love that has gotten your mother and I through all of these years. Life is going to be filled with both good and bad days. Be open in your communication and speak to each other with kindness and respect. Show one another affection every day. And remember why we're here to celebrate the lifetime of happiness and unending love you two share with one another. June 29th will be a special day for you two for the rest of your life. Remember this date and don't let this happen to you. At breakfast one morning, a woman said to her husband, "I bet you don't know what today is." "Of course I do," he answered as he walked out the door to work. At 10 a.m. the doorbell rang. The woman opened the door and was handed a box of a dozen long-stem red roses. At 1 p.m. a foil-wrapped 2-pound box of her favorite chocolates arrived. Later, a boutique delivered a dress. The woman couldn't wait for her husband to come home. First the flowers, then the candy, then the dress. She exclaims, "I've never spent a more wonderful Groundhog Day in my whole life." May you two also love each other and be full of patience and understanding. Be honest and loyal and good to each other. And I hope that you'll make each other laugh until you cry. True love is a treasure that you can never put a price on. Treasure what you have and guard it well. It has been written that when children find love, parents find joy. There are only two lasting, we wish you great joy from this day forward. There are only two lasting bequests we can hope to give our children. One is roots, the other wings. Robert, life is not really difficult to understand. It's not complex. What life is all about is one simple word, a word called family. There will come a time when you will realize that success is not measured by money or other materialistic things, but success is measured very simply. Success in a man is that he loves his wife and is loyal to her because she is the mother of his children and his wife. And a man is a man because he puts his family first amongst everything in the world. His family comes first.
Always.
Emily, 20 or so years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, and discover. May you have enough happiness to keep you sweet enough, trials to keep you strong, enough sorrow to keep you human, enough hope to keep you happy, enough failure to keep you humble, enough success to keep you eager, enough friends to give you comfort, enough faith and courage in yourself, your business, and your country to banish depression, enough wealth to meet your needs, and enough determination to make each day a better day than yesterday. Those are
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the rest of your evening.